Better gut health means better brain health, which means better mental health. And here's how foraging can make that happen. Your gut houses trillions of microbes that influence digestion, immunity, and mood. Even Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine, apparently coined the phrase, "all disease begins in the gut," showing that even over 2,000 years ago, we had an instinct as to how important gut health was to overall health. And in more recent times, due to something called the gut-brain axis, it's been shown that gut health has a significant effect on mental health too. Some studies have even shown that transferring the gut microbes of healthy people into people with depression has alleviated or even cured their depression. Research carried out as part of the American Gut Project showed that participants who ate 30 or more different types of plants per week had gut microbiomes that were the most diverse, therefore having the biggest positive effect on health, including mental health. This was where the concept of 30 plant points per week came from, an initiative to improve gut health and therefore overall physical and mental health. Now, 30 different plant fibres in a week can seem a lot, it can almost be overwhelming, but it is a bit easier when you think about the fact that it's not necessarily just different fruits and vegetables. Even things like herbs and spices and seeds and nuts all count, and even different colours of the same thing effectively count as well. For example, a yellow pepper and a red pepper would count as 2 plant points. So it's the variety of plant fibres that's important. Yes, a high fibre diet is important, but even more important is the variety of plant fibres. And the research showed that 30 or more per week was the tipping point which showed the biggest benefits towards gut health and therefore mental health. And this is where foraging comes in. As a forager, it's not the only way to hit 30 plant points a week, of course it isn't, but it makes it very easy to do so. I'm now going to go on a foraging walk, 1 to 2 miles, no more than that, and I'm just going to nibble on things just to see how many plant points I can get from this walk alone. It's late April as I film this video. Straight away we have here, this is cleavers. These aren't that nice at this time of year, but they are edible. And also amongst these cleavers we've got nettles. Obviously these sting you when they're raw, but if you do crush them up like that into a little ball and then just squeeze them, I give them a good squeeze as well, you can even eat those raw. These are a type of what we call dead nettles. Now you can eat all of it, but I'm just going to take a leaf, but mainly those flowers there as well. Here we have the young leaves of brambles, also known as blackberries of course. So I'm just going to take some of those young little leaf shoots there. They're edible, quite drying in the mouth, so I'm going to need something succulent after this, but they are absolutely fine to eat. Here we have dandelion, all parts of it edible. It might even class as 2 plant points if I had some of the petals and the leaves, but I'm just going to stick with the leaves on this occasion. This is hawthorn. You can eat these young leaves, although they are starting to get a bit papery now, but they're just about edible still. Quite a big patch of ground elder here in the carrot family, all edible, but personally I only like to eat them when they're nice and young like that. Down here we've got some common sorrel. These are the seed pods of the wych elm tree. This is what I call cow parsley. Now you can eat the leaves, but personally I only like the stems, the young stems when they're young enough to eat. I'm just going to peel back that outer layer and then eat the stem. I do have a bit of a safety note at the end of this video anyway, but I'm going to do another one specifically for the plant I've just shown you, just because it can look very similar to hemlock, which is deadly toxic, as in the leaves can look a bit similar when you're totally new to this and a beginner. When you get a bit of experience and knowledge, it's really easy to tell them apart, really easy. But I wanted to just still put a little safety note in there with cow parsley, just because it can look similar to hemlock. Now, here we have herb robert. Down here we have dock. I'm not sure of the exact species, but definitely dock. And it's quite drying and bitter, I find, dock, although it is said to be quite nutritious. But I'll take one for the team. I've come off the beaten path for this one, but this is what I call crow garlic. It's in the Allium genus, very similar to chives. Here we've got wood avens. I'll just try some of those younger leaves there. These are young beech leaves. This is garlic mustard. These are the young leaves of the linden tree. I'm saving the best till last in a way. This is few flowered garlic. And then of course, wild garlic. I'll just take a flower stem. Technically the leaves and then the flowers might count as 2 plant points, but I'm just going to do the flowers and count it as 1. Now, I don't normally nibble on that many things on one walk, of course I don't, but the whole point of the video was to show how easy it is to hit 30 plant points in a week when you're a forager. Foraging just makes it a lot easier to hit the magic 30. It's not the only way, of course, but it makes it easier, and it's one reason why foraging is incredibly good for your gut health and therefore mental health. Now, it should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway, don't try what I've just done without knowing what you are doing. You need to learn foraging properly and of course stick to the golden rule of foraging, which is to never eat anything unless you're 100% sure it's safe to eat. Never munch on a hunch.